What up, y'all? So I got the new camera set up, man, and we're gonna go ahead and start off with our first video. So we're gonna do a competition brisket trim. I'm gonna walk you through how I trim my briskets for competition. Man, if you don't like it, simply just don't do it. But man, I hope you do, and I hope, man, if you take just a little bit from it, that's all that matters. So, man, let's jump right into it, man, and let me show you how it's done, or how I do it, not how it's done, but. All right, so we're gonna get started here with the Snake River Farm brisket, American Wagyu. I picked this one up at my local HEB, 146 bucks. It's a 18.35. That's usually what I'm looking for. When I do order one, I'm ordering the 18 to 20. So, and that's what I like to work with. So, flip it over. I'm gonna make my first cut on the backside since most of this is coming off. Forgot one thing. Forgot these. All right, so I'm gonna get this opened up. Pretty nice marbling. I don't know if you can tell or see it, but pretty good looking marbling. Just gonna dry this off here real quick. And I'm always gonna start trimming my brisket fat side up, because right now it's kind of up at an angle, and I'd rather trim the top part when it's nice and even. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. And man, I like using a slicer for trimming. I mean, for me, it just works better. So I'm gonna start off with this piece here, and there's the dog waiting for something to drop. So I'm gonna take this, lift it up, and I'm taking a lot of this fat here. And you see that fat comes all the way down, so I don't care how far I go. And another thing is, there's different ways to trim a brisket. So, man, I label them as a KCBS brisket trim or a Texas brisket trim. And for today, I'm gonna go ahead with the Texas trim. And don't judge, man. I always cut towards my hand, and that's just what it is. I haven't got any bad cuts yet, so man, hopefully I don't start today. Good looking marbling, like I said. And I always keep the package. After I open it, I put the package right here on the sink, so that way I can just drop everything in there, and then I'll pick out if I'm gonna keep anything to, to grind down or whatever. But I'm gonna start trimming off some of this fat down here. Just enough. I'm not gonna go for that quarter or 1/8 just yet. Right now, I just want it to lay down flat. So once I got that kind of pre-trimmed, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it back over, and I'll start cleaning up the top here. Take some of this fat off. Oh yeah, look at that. It's good marble in there. Man, Snake River Farm briskets, man, they're great. That's what I cook. I've tried different briskets, and I like the snakes. So this cut that I made here, I'm going over this decal fat, and I'm gonna come about right here where I can kind of see the meat starting, and then I'm gonna go down. Now, I say, Texas trim, and now it's almost everything's a KCBS trim, since a sanctioning body in Texas, CBA, you are able to do burn in. So a lot of people are separating their briskets. I still like to cook a pretty decent sized brisket, because I'm not turning in burn in, so I don't I don't really care to separate it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just remove all this silver skin off the top. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Man, you can leave some on there. It's not gonna kill you. People say the rubs don't stick. Man, I've never had a problem with my rub not sticking. So, and always make, man, when you're gonna remove stuff, try to make small cuts, because man, you can always remove and you can never add. So it's kind of what, a rough. Now I can see all my grains. They're running this way. And man, there's a lot of brisket trimming videos all over the internet, and man, not one is right or wrong. You know what I mean? So this is just how I do it, and hopefully, and it helps somebody out. So next thing I'm gonna do while I have this here, I'm gonna try to lay it out, squeeze it down, just make it wide. And now I'm gonna look at it. So what I'm looking at, the view that I'm looking at is here, right? So I want these grains that are running to the side, and I want them to run straight down this brisket. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pick it up and just straighten them out towards me. Sometimes they're just way too slanted, and man, it gets kind of tricky. But this one, it looks like we might be able to make it work. So now I have it laying almost, to where they're coming almost straight down. It has a little bit of an angle, but I ain't really worried about that. So I'm going to start making cuts. I'm going to do my first cut here. Boom. I know I'm not going to use that, so that's fine. And then I'm going to make my second cut right about here. Man, that's real thin, so I know I ain't using that either. So we're going to go all the way down with it. Same on this side. And then you can see, all right, man, it's still a little thin. You have a lot of room to play with here. I still got a wide brisket. You can see right here, here's my point meat, here's the flat meat. I'm going to go in a lot more. But before I do that, I'm going to make a cut here. Now, that's the flat. Man, look at that marbling. I mean, that's some good marbling there. So, and you can see it kind of tapers, right? So it gets thin and then it comes back, gets a little thicker. So keep that in mind. Now I'm going to turn the brisket all the way around. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find where all this fat starts here. And then I'm going to make another straight cut. Boom. Now, so there's this hard fat seam right here. I'm probably going to end up having a little bit of a thin side, which I'm not too worried about. So I'm going to do my best to not come past this, right? So I'm going to start making cuts to make this about right there. But again, I'm going to start making small cuts, and I'm always going to keep my knife kind of at a 45 when I do any cut, right? So boom. There's that one, and then I'll go straight down. All right, so we're almost there. Do another one. And you take your time. I mean, there's no rush. I mean, unless you are rushing. And I don't know. I try not to give myself get in that situation. So I'm gonna keep on coming, trimming this way. A lot of this is that decal fat, which I ain't using, So I'm gonna keep on trimming up until I get almost aligned with this fat seam here. And you can see, man, we got a lot of fat down here, so so I'm just gonna take this part and just start slicing back. I'm trying to find where that fat starts going down. That's what I'm kind of chasing. You know what I mean? Now, and then if you need to pick it up and reline it up, you know, you do. That's fine. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not 100% straight, but and it's damn near straight. So, and there goes the dog again. His name's Clyde. Man, he be eating good sometimes. All right. So I'm starting to feel pretty good about this side. I'm going to leave it for now, and then I'm going to start working on this side. And on this one, I'm going to try to just line it up with this side. We're going to take that first cut, and then again, angle your knife, and boom. There we are. So we kind of have a shape that we're following now. Now you can see. Now I'm going to come up here, flip it. You got all this fat here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Again, at an angle, I kind of round that edge off. And then I'll start shaping this brisket, kind of going around, making it round. And I'm still gonna keep on cutting, and I just starting to do the shape that I want to finish off with. Because if you do it, you know, too soon or too late, you know, you kind of just want to start giving it the shape so that by the time you get done, you have plenty of meat to mess with. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing down here. And just slowly start shaping this brisket how you want it. I see a lot of people do briskets that look like footballs or something. I don't really know what that's about, but man, I don't do that. I don't like, you know, like I said, I don't like that whole round oval brisket. I like it to still kind of look like a brisket. And all right, so once I get to this point here, I'm not worried about that right now. So I'm gonna come back. Now I see, you know, I'm pretty wide still. So I'm gonna take another slice right here. All right. And then again, I'm gonna come back with the 45. Boom. And that's just to keep this edge rounded. A lot of people will use shears. I don't. And I can do everything with my knife. You have a sharp enough knife, you can do it all. But now, here's a tool or whatever that I found that works out for me. It's an envelope opener, and it's about 7 inches, right? It's right under 7. I don't know if you can see, but 6 inches right there, man. It's 6 7/8 maybe. And I use this to measure the top of my brisket. So, being the top, that means I want the top to be this size, and then it'll taper out to the side. So you can, I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see. So I look at the side that I like the most, and I think it's going to be this side, even though it is a little thin still, but that's fine. So I'm going to line that top up right there. And then I'm going to make just a little cut, just an indentation of the knife there. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to start tapering up into that mark that I made. So this side, I'm pretty happy with that side right now. So I'm gonna stop messing with it. I'm gonna pick it up, line it up, drop it. And then I'm gonna come to the other side, and there's a top. So I'm pretty good there. Just gonna make a couple little cuts. Barely any. And now I'm gonna start really getting on shaping. All right, so there's the grains. Here's the point side. Here's the flat side. So I have more of a wider turn here. This is more squared, or more sharp turn, and this is a wider turn. So I'm gonna take another slice off of here, straight down, and then I'm gonna take another slice off of this side, straight down. Look at it. I'm gonna go ahead with another one. Cutting about half an inch off on here, and I'm gonna stop right there. I like that. Man, that's thick enough. Once you inject and start cooking, it's gonna blow up, right? So now I'll come back and start shaping again. A little bit at a time. Don't rush it, take your time. This usually takes me about 10, maybe 15. Then on this top here, I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to do a little curve down. Well, and I'm doing everything with my knife. I'm not using shears. I'm just using my knife. Same thing on this side. And you can use a knife. I'm not saying not to, but I just don't. I only got one thing to wash. All right. I'm pick it up, lay it back down. Let's see. And I know I can put a towel down or whatever under my cutting board so it doesn't slide, but man, I like for it to slide. So if I want to turn it, you know what I mean? It turns easy, whatever. So I'm looking, man, it's looking pretty good here. I'm going to take a little bit more off of this side. I'm still a little big, a little wide. All right, so I'm pretty much done with the top here for now. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to start looking at all this fat. I'm going to put my hand down here. I'm going to pick it up. On this side, I got maybe, 1/8, 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to follow that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. That's still some of the point meat, so I ain't worried about that. This side, man, it's pretty good. Just take that. So I'm good with that. After it's cooked, you can trim more fat off or whatever you want to do. Now, the last thing I do is I grab this is a brisket caddy from, I think it's Barbecue Bulldog or something like that. I take this and I don't want it super tight, but I don't want it super, loose. I want it to fit snug. If it fits snug, man, I ain't worried about it at all. So just tight enough, but I don't have to force it in. It just falls straight in there. And that's it, man. That's my brisket trim. And like I said, this is what I call a Texas trim, because you still have some of that point meat on the bottom. And, so KCBS would be a different one, and I will do a video on that one too. But as for now, pretty happy with this brisket. I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal it. Maybe cut this off here. I'm going to throw it in the vacuum seal, throw it in the fridge, and it'll be rolling this weekend at the KCBS World Championship, $50,000 payout. This I'm not too worried about. I don't care how this looks. My slices are going to come from right here. So don't waste your time on this shit. It doesn't matter. All you worried about is here and here. Just make sure it's round. Make sure you ain't got no sharp edges. Yep. And it looks good to me. Thanks for watching. That's it. That's how it looks, and we'll continue this video at the cook-off.